When my girlfriend, Mia, looked me dead in the eyes and said, "My ex needs me, I'm staying at his place tonight," something inside me cracked. I wanted to scream, fight, demand answers, but instead, I swallowed hard, forced a calm smile, and replied, "I understand." And that's where this story really begins. Mia and I had been dating for almost 2 years. We met through mutual friends, clicked instantly, and from the outside, we looked like that perfect couple everyone rooted for. She was smart, bubbly, adventurous. I was steady, loyal, maybe a little boring, but I thought boring was a good thing when it came to relationships. But Mia had one flaw, her ex, Daniel. He was like a ghost that never left our relationship. She insisted they were just friends now, that they had too much shared history to cut him off. I didn't like it, but I trusted her, or maybe I just didn't want to look insecure. The first red flag was how often he called late at night. The second was how quickly she'd drop everything for him, while telling me, "It's nothing, he's just going through stuff." Still, I ignored it. Because love makes you blind. Or maybe stupid. That night, she said it so casually, like telling me she was grabbing dinner with a friend. "My ex needs me, I'm staying at his place tonight." I felt my stomach twist. My hands went cold. But instead of exploding, I nodded slowly and whispered, "I understand." Mia blinked, maybe expecting me to argue, maybe wanting me to beg her not to go. But I didn't. She grabbed her purse, kissed me lightly on the cheek, like I was some placeholder, and walked out the door. The second the door shut, my mask dropped. I wasn't calm. I wasn't understanding. I was done. I didn't text her. I didn't call. Instead, I opened my laptop and started digging. See, Mia always underestimated me. She thought I was the boring, steady guy who never paid attention. But the truth? I noticed everything. I remembered her phone password. I remembered her laptop login. I remembered the way she hid certain conversations under notes instead of texts. And that night, I finally used that information. What I found broke me, and then fueled me. For months, she'd been in constant contact with Daniel. Not just as friends. The messages were emotional, flirty, full of late-night "I miss you" texts. Even worse, she had been telling him things about me. About our fights, about my insecurities, even mocking how predictable I was. And the final knife? A message just 2 nights before. "Daniel, so when are you finally leaving him?" "Mia, soon. I just need to figure out the right time." My chest felt like it was caving in. My girlfriend, the woman I thought was my future, had been planning to replace me, while still living in my apartment, eating my food, using my car. But instead of confronting her, I decided something else. If she wanted to play games with me, fine. But I wasn't going to be the fool. The next morning, Mia came home looking tired but smug. "Morning," she said, dropping her keys on the counter like nothing happened. "Morning," I replied coolly. She studied me, maybe waiting for jealousy, maybe waiting for me to demand answers. But I stayed calm. She smiled faintly, almost like she had won some invisible battle. And in that moment, I knew, she thought she had me wrapped around her finger. But she had no idea what was coming. I spent the next week preparing. Quietly. Carefully. First, I made copies of everything, her messages, her call logs, even the photos she thought she had hidden. Second, I visited my landlord. Since the apartment lease was under my name alone, I had full control. With a single signature, I gave her 30 days notice to vacate, but I didn't tell her. Not yet. Third, I started planning my exit. Not just from the relationship, but from the entire version of life where Mia thought she could use me as her backup plan. And finally, I reached out to someone I never thought I'd message. Daniel's girlfriend, Emily. When I first texted her, she was skeptical. But then I sent her the screenshots. She went quiet for a long time. Then she wrote back, "Can we meet in person?" We met at a quiet coffee shop the next day. Emily was sharp, composed, and clearly fed up. I had a feeling, she said bitterly, scrolling through the evidence on my phone. He kept disappearing, giving me excuses. I thought I was crazy. But you just confirmed everything. I nodded. They've been playing us both. For the first time in days, I felt a strange sense of control. Emily wasn't just mad, she wanted payback. And together, we started to plan. By the time Mia thought she was comfortably juggling me and Daniel, I was already building the perfect trap. She thought I was the safe option, the boring guy who wouldn't fight back. She was wrong. Because when the truth finally exploded, it wasn't just going to end the relationship. It was going to burn everything she'd built with her lies. For the next 2 weeks, Mia acted like nothing was wrong. She still came home late, still smiled at her phone like it was a portal to a secret life, still gave me those half-hearted kisses that felt more like a courtesy than love. And I let her. I smiled back. I asked about her day. I even cooked her favorite meals. Because the calmer I seemed, the more careless she became. The day of the reveal started like any other. A Saturday morning, sunlight spilling into the kitchen, Mia scrolling on her phone in her pajamas. Daniel wants me to come over later, she said casually, sipping her coffee. He's been struggling. I forced a soft smile. Of course. Do what you need to. She smirked slightly, like she was testing me, waiting for jealousy. But I didn't give her the satisfaction. Because I already knew what would happen later that night. Emily and I had stayed in touch. We weren't friends, just two people bound by betrayal. Together, we set the stage. That evening, Mia told me she was going out with friends. She dressed up, perfume heavy, lipstick perfect. I kissed her cheek, handed her the car keys, and told her, have fun. The second she left, I followed. Emily was already parked a block away from Daniel's apartment. We exchanged a nod, two soldiers ready for battle. We didn't barge in immediately. No, that would have been too easy. We waited. And when the lights dimmed inside, when shadows moved across the curtains, when the betrayal was undeniable, we struck. Emily knocked. Hard. The door swung open, and there was Daniel, shirtless, shocked. Behind him, Mia wrapped in a blanket, eyes wide with horror. Emily? What the hell are you doing here? Daniel stammered. Emily's voice was ice. I could ask you the same thing. I stepped forward, my presence hitting Mia like a thunderbolt. She froze, her face draining of color. What are you doing here? She whispered. I held up my phone. Collecting evidence. The silence was suffocating. Mia tried to speak, but no words came out. Daniel, ever the coward, tried to shift blame. Look, this isn't what it looks like. Emily cut him off with a laugh. Don't you dare. I've seen the messages. Months of them. The late nights. The lies. Both of you are pathetic. Mia scrambled to get dressed, fumbling with her clothes. Wait, it's not like that, I was just. I raised my hand. Save it. I've seen everything. The texts, the calls, the plans to leave me. Her eyes widened. You went through my phone? No, I said coldly. I went through our relationship, and found there was nothing worth saving. The scene dissolved into chaos. Emily threw her keys at Daniel and stormed out. Daniel chased after her, shouting, leaving Mia and me alone in the wreckage. She reached for me, tears in her eyes. Please, it's not what you think. I was confused. I didn't mean to hurt you. I stepped back. You meant every word you sent him. You mocked me. You called me predictable, boring. You planned to leave me the moment you felt secure with him. Her tears fell harder. I made a mistake, but I love you. I laughed bitterly. No, Mia. You loved having me as a safety net. But here's the thing about safety nets, they can disappear. I turned and walked out, her sobs echoing behind me. But the story didn't end there. The next morning, Mia woke up to find all her belongings neatly packed in boxes by the door of my apartment. The locks had been changed. The lease termination notice was taped on the wall. And on the table, I left one final envelope. Inside were printed copies of her messages with Daniel, every cruel word, every secret betrayal. And at the bottom, a single note from me. You said your ex needs you. Good. Because you don't have me anymore. Weeks passed. Emily kept me updated occasionally. She dumped Daniel for good, moved out, and blocked him everywhere. From what she told me, he tried crawling back, but she was stronger than that. Mia, on the other hand, spiraled. She texted me nonstop for days, apologies, promises, begging for another chance. Eventually, when I never replied, the messages turned bitter. You'll never find someone who loves you like I do. You're throwing away everything for nothing. I made one mistake. But the truth was clear, it wasn't one mistake. It was months of betrayal, manipulation, and lies. And for the first time in years, I felt free. The twist? A few months later, I bumped into an old college friend at a bookstore, someone I hadn't seen in years. We grabbed coffee, caught up, and one conversation turned into many. She was kind, funny, and most importantly, honest. When I told her about Mia, she didn't laugh or judge. She just said, sometimes you have to lose the wrong person to make space for the right one. And she was right. Because for the first time, I wasn't someone's backup plan. I was someone's choice. As for Mia? The last I heard, Daniel dumped her not long after I left. Apparently, once she was no longer forbidden fruit, she lost her appeal. She tried dating around, but word spreads fast in our circle. People knew what she'd done, and doors quietly closed on her. Karma didn't just knock, it kicked the door down. So when Mia told me, my ex needs me, I'm staying at his place tonight, I could have fought. I could have begged. But instead, I just smiled and said, I understand. Because I already knew something she didn't. By the time she chose him, I'd already chosen myself.